Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on a dog breed that's as striking as it is smart. The Australian Shepherd, or Aussie. If you found yourself drawn to these incredible animals, well, you're in exactly the right place.
They are pretty captivating.
Totally. Now, get this. Despite the name, the one that makes you think of the Outback, the Aussie story is actually deeply rooted in the American West.
Yeah, that's the surprising part. There's really no direct link to Australia.
It's a fun little twist, right? So we've gathered a bunch of information to explore their history, their unique characteristics, what it takes to care for them.
And ultimately, yeah, to help figure out if an Aussie might be, the right fit for someone's life.
Exactly. Our mission today is to pull out the essential insights about these amazing dogs.
It really is a surprising origin story, isn't it? What's fascinating, as you dig into their past, is how consistently the evidence points to the Western U.S. We're talking the 1800s, early 1900s. And the main theory is that their ancestors were herding dogs from Spain. They probably came over with imported sheep.
Okay, that makes sense. Spanish herding dogs here in America.
Oh.
But then, how did the Australian name stick? That's the part that always gets me.
It is a bit of a historical puzzle, yeah. There are a couple of ideas floating around. One is, maybe these Spanish dogs had a quick stopover in Australia before hitting the U.S.
Okay.
But the more accepted theory links back to Basque shepherds. Lots of Basque folks, some who had spent time in Australia, moved to the American West in the 1800s.
Oh, okay.
And they brought their herding dogs with them. So the dogs got linked to the shepherds from Australia, even if the dogs themselves weren't originally Australian.
So it was more about who they worked with, not where they were actually bred initially. That's pretty neat.
Exactly.
Which brings up a key point about how they developed. These weren't just random dogs. American ranchers were actively shaping the breed, weren't they?
Absolutely. If you think about the expanding West, these ranchers were deliberately picking dogs that could handle tough frontier farm life. They needed a real all-rounder.
Right. Not just a herder.
Not just a herder. A dog that could herd, sure, but also protect property, be a reliable buddy in all sorts of conditions. Versatile.
And they clearly did well. I even read they got popular in rodeos.
That's right. Rodeos were a great stage, actually. Showcased their amazing herding skills, how trainable they were.
Wow.
They could learn complex moves, even tricks. It really boosted their profile, cemented them as super capable dogs.
It's quite telling to look at their old names, too. Spanish shepherds, pastor dogs, bobtails.
Yeah, even blue heelers, New Mexican shepherds, California shepherds.
It really shows that Australian wasn't always the main label,
Precisely. It reflects a breed that was still sort of finding its identity, being recognized for its practical skills across different places.
So a really interesting American story with a surprising name. Okay, let's shift to what catches your eye right away. Their looks. They're not huge dogs, but they definitely look athletic.
They are medium-sized, yeah, and that athleticism is core to who they are. Males are typically 20 to 23 inches at the shoulder, weighing maybe 50 to 65 pounds.
Okay.
Females a bit smaller, generally 18 to 21 inches, maybe 40 to 55 pounds. And they tend to live a good long life, around 12 to 15 years.
You can really see that working background in their build, can't you? They look like they're ready to go.
You got it. They have this well-balanced body, strong back, deep chest. It all adds up to that agility and, honestly, amazing endurance, built for work.
But let's be real, one of the first things people notice, those eyes, they're often just stunning.
Mesmerizing is a good word. And what's really interesting is how common heterochromia is in the breed, having two different colored eyes.
Right, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's less common in dogs generally, but it's almost a signature for Aussies.
It's so striking. What kind of colors can they have?
Oh, a beautiful range. Brown, blue, amber, hazel, green. And sometimes you even see mixes within one eye, like marbled patterns. Really unique.
Wow. I even read about some Native American legends connected to the blue-eyed ones. Adds a bit of mystique.
It does. Some tribes really respected those blue-eyed Aussies, call them ghost-eye dogs.
Ghost-eye. Cool.
Yeah, consider them sacred, believe they could maybe see into the spirit world, or had a connection to both heaven and earth. It's a lovely cultural layer.
Absolutely. And then there's the coat. Such incredible variety there, too.
Yes, that double coat is really distinctive. Practical, too, gives them insulation. Medium-length outer coat, dense undercoat for weather resistance.
And the colors.
Black, red, blue merle, red merle, often with white markings, tan points. It creates this really diverse look within the breed.
That merle pattern is so unique. I heard it can even change a bit as they get older.
That's right. The merle coloring can actually deepen or become more pronounced as they mature. So their look can kind of subtly evolve over time. Owners find that pretty interesting.
And we can't forget the tail. Or sometimes the lack of one.
Exactly. About 1 in 5 Aussies is born with a naturally short or bobbed tail. It's a dominant gene. It's such a known trait, it led to that bobtails nickname early on. Ranchers actually favored it. Historically, less risk of injury working around livestock.
Makes sense. So from the eyes to the bill to the coat, they definitely stand out. But it's their personality, their temperament, that really makes them special, isn't it? Starts with the brain.
Absolutely. Intelligence-wise, Aussies are consistently right up there, top tier.
Like really smart.
Really smart. And it's not just learning commands quickly that they do that. It's their ability to think independently, solve problems.
Uh-oh.
Ha! Well, it can be amazing, but yeah, you need to be ready for a dog who might figure out creative ways around the rules if they're bored.
I can picture that. But that sharp mind comes with a real need to work, doesn't it?
It does. Very strong work ethic. They were bred for a job, and they still need that sense of purpose. Without it, they can get restless, even destructive.
Which leads us to their energy. Energetic feels like maybe not strong enough for an Aussie.
It truly does. These dogs were made to work tirelessly on huge ranches. That high energy is just part of their makeup.
So how much exercise are we talking?
They genuinely need a lot of physical activity. We're talking a minimum of 2 hours. Vigorous activity every single day, minimum.
2 hours. Wow, that's a serious commitment. What happens if they don't get that outlet?
Well, if that energy doesn't get burned off constructively, it can come out in ways owners don't love. Excessive barking, maybe chewing things up.
Digging
in the yard, definitely. And that herding instinct, you can get misdirected onto people, nipping at heels, trying to round up the kids, that kind of thing.
Okay, so job one. Exercise, exercise, exercise.
Yeah.
But they're also known for being super close to their families, right?
They really are. They form incredibly strong bonds. Very loyal, very protective. You often hear them called Velcro dogs.
Because they stick close.
Exactly. They want to be right there with their people, which is lovely, but something to be aware of can sometimes lead to separation anxiety if they're left alone too much without preparation.
That makes sense. And how are they usually with kids and other pets?
Generally, they're pretty social. They can be great with kids and other pets, especially if they're socialized well from a young age.
Yeah.
But you always have to remember that herding instinct. It might kick in, make them chase moving things, bikes, joggers, maybe smaller animals. Needs management.
So managing those instincts through training and giving them other things to do is key. Okay, let's dive deeper into meeting their needs. We know exercise is huge, but what kind specifically?
For that physical exercise, yeah, minimum 2 hours of active stuff. Think running with you once they're old enough, of course.
Right.
Swimming is fantastic, challenging hikes, really energetic games of fetch in a safe fenced area. They're amazing partners for active, outdoorsy people.
Definitely. If you love trails or long runs, sounds like an Aussie would be thrilled. But you also mentioned mental stimulation being just as vital. What does that actually look like?
Mental workouts are crucial for their smart brains. Consistent training sessions, teaching new tricks or complex commands.
Okay.
Puzzle toys are great, those food dispensing toys that make them work for it. Scent work, hiding treats for them to find that's super engaging and tiring for them.
Ah, nose work.
Exactly. Even simple games like hide and seek with toys or people. And rotating their toys keeps things fresh, prevents boredom. Variety is key.
Sounds like keeping their minds busy is a big part of the job. And I know Aussies often kill it in dog sports.
They really do. Their smarts, athleticism, that drive makes them fantastic competitors in tons of canine sports.
Like what?
Agility, flyball, disc dog, dock diving, herding trials, which is perfect for their instincts, obedience, rally, scent work trials. You name it.
Wow.
Participating is great for burning energy, but it also really strengthens that bond you have with them, gives them a positive outlet.
Now, like any breed, Aussies can be prone to certain health things. What should potential owners be aware of?
Yeah, while they're generally healthy with a good lifespan, there are things to watch for. Hip and elbow dysplasia, those joint issues, various eye conditions like cataracts or collie eye anomaly, epilepsy can occur, and multi-drug sensitivity or MDR1 gene mutation makes them sensitive to certain drugs.
Okay, good to know.
And it's worth noting, Sometimes merle-colored Aussies might have a higher chance of hearing or vision issues. Responsible breeders screen for these things.
Right, screening is important. And for people interested in maybe a more holistic approach to health, what options are there?
There are definitely complementary things you can do alongside traditional vet care. Nutrition-wise, a high-quality protein-rich diet for active breeds is a good start.
Makes sense.
You might look into omega-3s for coat and joints, maybe glucosamine and chondroitin for extra joint support, probiotics for gut health.
Okay.
Then there are therapies like acupuncture for pain, massage, maybe chiropractic for active dogs, some herbal supplements.
But it's crucial to remember.
Absolutely. Preventative care is number one. Regular vet checkups, vaccines, dental care, parasite prevention, that's the foundation.
And always talk to your vet first.
Right. Always. Before starting any new supplements or therapies, have that conversation with your vet to make sure it's safe and right for your specific dog.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, let's switch to the day-to-day stuff. Grooming, training, food. That gorgeous coat must need some work.
It does, yeah. That beautiful double coat needs regular upkeep. Weekly brushing is usually the minimum to stop mats and get rid of loose fur.
And when they shed?
Oh yeah, shedding season hits usually twice a year. Then you'll probably need to brush daily, or close to it, just to manage the fluff. Good tools help a slicker brush, an undercoat rake,
Okay.
bathing, maybe every 2-3 months, or if they get really mucky. And even outside those big sheds, expect some moderate shedding year-round. So brushing needs to be consistent.
Definitely not wash and wear. What about other grooming?
The usual stuff. Regular nail trims, every few weeks probably. Ear cleaning to prevent infections. Ideally, daily teeth brushing. And checking their paw pads, especially if they're active on different surfaces.
Right, routine care. Now, training obviously vital for a smart, energetic breed like this. Key principles.
Early and consistent training is non-negotiable, really. Start right away when you get your puppy. Use positive reinforcement, rewarding good behavior.
Keep it positive.
Definitely. Keep sessions short, but do them often. Be clear, be consistent, avoid harsh methods. That can really damage the relationship.
And socialization.
Hugely important. Expose them to lots of different people, places, sounds, other animals, safely, positively, especially when they're young. Puppy classes, supervised play dates, they're invaluable for Aussies.
And dealing with that herding instinct in training?
Best bet is to channel it, not fight it. Find appropriate outlets, look for herding classes that exist, or sports like tri-ball, herding big balls. Even just energetic games of frisbee or fetch,
Yeah.
or hiding toys for them to find and bring back, can satisfy that drive constructively.
Makes sense. Work with the instinct.
And
And fueling these dynamos, what do they need diet-wise?
they thrive on high-quality food supporting that active lifestyle. Look for good protein source first, maybe 25–30% protein for muscle.
Okay.
Moderate to high fat, maybe 15–20% for energy. Complex carbs are good too.
Yeah.
And of course, calories depend on their activity level, age, metabolism.
Right. Tailor it to the dog.
Exactly. Whether it's kibble, raw, home cooked, the key is complete and balanced nutrition.
And any holistic nutrition tips?
Prioritize whole foods, natural preservatives over artificial ones. Limited ingredient diets might help if there are sensitivities, supplements maybe, but
Talk to the vet first.
always, especially a veterinary nutritionist if you're going deep into holistic diets, just to ensure all their needs are truly met.
So we've hit history, looks, personality, care, now the big one, lifestyle fit. What's the ideal home for an Aussie?
Aussies really do best with space. Apartment living, generally not ideal. Too much energy, they need room to move, a job.
Fenced yard.
A securely fenced yard is pretty much a must. They can be escape artists if bored or underexercised. They also appreciate having shady spots outside to chill and safe, comfy spots inside to rest.
So space and outdoor access are key. Can they adapt to, say, suburban life?
They definitely can adapt to suburbs, yeah. If their exercise and mental needs are consistently met, it really comes down to the owner's commitment.
Makes sense. And how do they fit into family life?
Use it quite well. They bond strongly with kids, especially when raised together and socialized properly. You can get along with other pets too, but again,
Watch the herding instinct.
watch the herding instinct with smaller pets, manage it through training. They thrive on being part of the family activities. They don't do well being left alone for really long stretches regularly.
That Velcro dog thing again. So what about busy people who love Aussies? Any tips?
If you're busy but committed, having support helps. Dog walkers, maybe doggy daycare for exercise and socialization, lots of interactive toys for when you are out.
Okay.
But most importantly, build routines with dedicated quality time, playing, training, cuddling when you are home. That connection is vital.
This really leads to some tough questions people need to ask themselves honestly before getting an Aussie, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You really have to look inward. Do I genuinely have time for 2+ hours of exercise daily? Am I patient enough for consistent training with a very smart, sometimes independent dog?
Uh-huh.
Am I willing to do the regular grooming? Do I have experience with active breeds? Does my lifestyle truly allow for a dog that needs to be involved?
Those are critical self-checks. It sounds like Aussies are definitely not couch potatoes.
Not even close.
Yeah.
They need engaged owners who want to match their energy, keep their minds busy, but, and this is huge for the right person,
Yeah.
someone who loves being outdoors, loves activity, wants an intelligent partner for adventures.
An Aussie can be absolutely perfect.
Mm.
Deeply rewarding. Okay, so someone's done the soul searching, thinks an Aussie is the right fit. What are the next steps?
First step, research. Find reputable breeders who do health testing or look into Aussie-specific rescues. Lots of great Aussies need homes.
Good point.
Then prep your home, get supplies, food, toys, training gear, comfy resting spots. Connect with online Aussie communities, great place for advice from experienced owners.
Smart.
Find a vet who knows the breed, maybe one open to discussing holistic options if that interests you, and invest in good training resources classes, online programs geared towards smart herding breeds.
And always remember the long-term commitment, right?
Exactly. You're looking at potentially 12, 13, 14, 15 years with this intelligent, energetic, loyal dog. It's a huge commitment of time, energy, and resources.
So wrapping up, it sounds like Australian Shepherds are truly amazing dogs, but for a specific kind of owner.
That's absolutely right. They offer so much love, energy, intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
ideal for active, engaged people who want more than just a casual pet.
Definitely not for everyone, but if you're looking for a partner in crime for adventures.
They can be the perfect match.
Yeah.
Ready for a hike, ready for a game, always up for something.
And while it takes serious effort, the rewards sound immense. That loyalty, that spirit seems worth it.
Absolutely.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening. Considering their incredible intelligence and those deep herding roots, what unique activities or maybe jobs could you envision creating for an Australian Shepherd in your life to really let them shine? That's definitely something to ponder as you think about whether this remarkable breed fits your world.